Good afternoon and welcome to episode 56 of Red True Diaries. And I'm looking like this and holding the camera like this because I wanted to show that, I'm not necessarily in the most idyllic place, but because, well, you can't see the surroundings. This is probably the best patch of this area. But that's what I did, was find the best patch of this area so that I could have a little peace and quiet. I'm not in a park. I'm actually I'm near a shopping center, and just due to the sake of time and all that I have on my plate these days, I just went ahead and decided to, gather my picnic things and go between some bushes and come down into this little valley so I could have, again, some peace and quiet, and also slightly more beautiful surroundings than the concrete jungle that is around. So just thinking of one of the best ways, and I do know I have this stain on my shirt. I'm messy. What can I say? You should see my car and my home, and you know what? I care, but I don't care, and in that it's obvious. And I've been going back and forth via text today with a friend of mine who likes to challenge me, and oftentimes I enjoy his challenges. And I'm not deterred or swayed by anteing up to the challenge. But right now, honestly, I told him, I was like, listen, we don't see eye to eye on half the things that we communicate about. And right now, I'm not in the mood, nor do I really have the time or energy to go tit for tat over the issue of Steiner. He, as well as some other people, not many, but some, do believe that Steiner's views are racist. And the basis for this is understandable. There are some excerpts, there are parts of his books and lectures where he talks about different races: Asian, Indian, Black, White, Native American, and the soul, cultural, spiritual influence that each has to offer in the evolution and development of them. And I did research on this too, a couple of times, because this isn't the first time he's brought this up, but I've delved into it a bit further and was in touch with someone I know who knows a lot about Steiner about it, and it's understandable how it can be perceived, but without reading his works all in context, it doesn't fully make sense. It's like there's so many different examples. I'm trying to stay focused. Okay. Abraham Lincoln, for one. The emancipation, to me, that's a great example of someone who was racist. He did believe that Black people were less intelligent than white people. He felt that they were inferior, and yet without Black people enlisting into the army, and I mean, he came up with the Emancipation Proclamation, but without Black people enlisting into the army, we wouldn't have won the Revolutionary War. And yet Abraham Lincoln is revered as a president and as a man who stood up for Black people, who believed in the rights of Black people, to the point where he was assassinated because of the Emancipation Proclamation. But he saw it more as a war tactic. And I'm not going to say I from the things I've read about Lincoln, I do believe that by the time he died, and I don't know if that has something to do with working alongside, fighting alongside Black people, that allowed him to start to change his points of view. But there are many different cases of people I've read into: Gandhi, Sam Cooke, Martin Luther King. King had an affair, as much as, as spiritually devout as he was, and as much of an awesome person and leader, civil rights leader as he was. People have their strengths and weaknesses, and William Penn is someone whom I've always admired, and I learned that, I don't know if he had a gambling issue, but there was something I read where Philadelphia was almost lost, to Lord Baltimore because of his debts. And I think he just mismanaged money. I don't think it was gambling, but he just was poor at managing money. And Philadelphia was almost gone. I think it was Lord Baltimore's for a while. And I've always admired Penn for his rebel nature. I mean, he was pretty much sent to the colonies by his dad, who was a king, sorry, not a king, an admiral in the king's army. So I'm here, but I'm only partly here. I'm have a lot going on around me. As I said, that's the truck in the shopping center, and I'm a little bit tired. I did get a decent amount of sleep, but I slept until the last minute. I've been working. I had one day off this week out of 12 in a row, and I've been cat sitting. Today's my 10th day in a row, so twice a day I've been going, before work and after work to spend time with, not just to feed this cat, but when I can, spend some time with him, because I know he's lonely without his owners being gone. His owners were only supposed to be gone 8 days and ended up having a delay, so all that being said, and my period is due in 6 days. It's due next Thursday, but I have a feeling it might even be early and come next Wednesday, which would be cool. I'd be glad if it did. And those dates leading up to it, the days leading up to it, bring out more of my weaker traits. I don't have the same amount. I'm already prone to impatience, but my impatience is higher, my patience is lower. My energy levels just are not nearly as high as they are throughout the other times in my cycle. And I've just, been at full tilt with work. And so that's why when I have, a break like I do now, and I can bring it down and just take it easy and chill out, stretch, breathe, read a book, I'm all in. And I'm not claiming, I'm not claiming to be perfect. I am. I believe that I'm perfect as I am, though I'm a work in progress, just like you. I don't think, that you're any less perfect than, say, the leaves on these trees. Or say, oh, you need to do this or you need to do that. And we're going to change. Some, just like our breath, we're more conscious of certain changes, more mindful of certain changes. And of course, certain changes are more advantageous for whatever it is you're going for than others. But at the end of the day, at the end of each moment, with each choice, the accountability and responsibility is up to us. And one of the things I'm finding really fascinating with the book that I'm reading, A Philosophy of Freedom, Intuitive Thinking as a Spiritual Path, is it asks the questions, where do thoughts come from? Where do they arise from? I have given thought to that, and over the years, Alan Watts was one of the first philosophers and writers whom I adored. And I remember when I started learning and looking into his history, learning that he just smoked, he smoked cigarettes and cigars. I don't think he was a big drinker. I think he did smoke weed. I don't know if he stopped at a certain point, but that oftentimes we tend to idealize people and idolize them, and just like that Batman, I can't remember which one, where they had the Harry Dent, I think he was, and he was like the city's hero, and then he turned bad, and Batman covered up that he was the one doing a bunch of killings by the end. I think that, especially in Western culture, we don't want to see, or we'd like to ignore more of the darkness, more of the weaknesses, as Brene Brown puts it, the shame, the guilt, the flip side that makes us a wholehearted human being. But these are also the qualities that helps us connect with each other. And she says that connection and creativity and joy and inspiration. So when we block truth in general, we're blocking not just the guilt and the shame and the things that we want to ignore, but we're also blocking the joy and the creativity and the inspiration and the parts of us that are absolutely, truly wonderful, full of wonder. And whether you believe whatever it is that I say or not, what I oftentimes say in my episodes is explore these things for yourself, please. It's one of my favorite lines by Rudolf Steiner, as he says, We don't want merely to believe. We want to know through and through. That's what this phase and stage of my life, I feel like I'm getting back to, because I have known, due to some amazing experiences that I had in around 20 years ago, my early 20s, in my spiritual seeking, I found all that I was looking for and then some. And along the way, I've got caught up in what some call the wheel of samsara, life and its illusions. And every so often, this time of my life is one of them. I come back to I see as this hub, this core that helps me have my feet on the ground, but also, my head in the heavens. And in between is my heart. Love. All-encompassing love that infiltrates and penetrates the microcosm and the macrocosm. And for each of us, that's going to be different. Different experience, different actions, different words, different thoughts. And it's up to us, each of us as individuals, to decide what we think, what we feel, what we accept, what we know as our truth through and through. I leave with the one line that I love. I don't think that Barbara Streisand wrote this song, but her song "Woman in Love" says, "No truth is ever a lie." So I stumble and fall, but I give you my all. Yes, yes, yes. So, on that note, I'm gonna get back to work, and may you have some fun exploring for yourself some of these things, or not. It's all good. So, thank you for watching and listening. I love you. Mwah.